In the heart of ancient Greece, a radical idea took root. Democracy. The year was 500 BC. Imagine a society where ordinary people, not kings or emperors, held the power. Athens, a bustling city-state, became the cradle of this experiment. Citizens gathered in the agora, a vibrant marketplace of ideas. They debated, argued, and voted on laws directly. This direct democracy, raw and untamed, held the promise of true freedom. But Athenian democracy was not without its flaws. Only free men could vote, excluding women, slaves, and foreigners. This limited definition of citizenship cast a shadow over this early experiment in self-rule. Yet, the Athenian model, imperfect as it was, sent ripples through time, inspiring thinkers and revolutionaries for centuries to come. The echoes of their debates still resonate, urging us to question, to participate, to shape our own destinies. Could this ancient experiment hold the key to a more just and equitable future? The answer, my friends, lies in the annals of history and the choices we make today. Rome, a city destined for greatness, chose a different path. Instead of direct democracy, they established a republic. Power rested with elected officials representing the people's will. This system, more structured and organized than its Athenian counterpart, allowed Rome to flourish. Its legions conquered vast territories, its laws shaped civilization. Yet, beneath Rome's grandeur, a seed of discontent festered. The gap between the powerful elite and the common people widened. This imbalance, coupled with internal strife and external threats, ultimately led to the Republic's downfall. The rise of emperors marked the end of Roman democracy, a stark reminder that even the most powerful empires can crumble when the voices of the people are silenced. Is a republic, with its reliance on elected representatives, truly a government of the people? Or does power inevitably concentrate in the hands of a select few, eroding the very foundations of democracy? The story of Rome serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to remain vigilant in our pursuit of a just and equitable society. The fall of Rome plunged Europe into the Dark Ages. Democracy seemed lost in the shadows. Monarchs ruled with absolute power, yet the yearning for freedom flickered. In 1215, King John signed the Magna Carta. It limited the king's power for the first time, establishing that even the king was subject to the law. A small victory, a glimmer of hope in darkness. As Europe emerged from the Middle Ages, a new era dawned, the Renaissance. A period of great intellectual and artistic flourishing, the Renaissance witnessed a resurgence of interest in classical ideas, including those of ancient Greece. Thinkers and artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo celebrated human potential. This renewed focus on human reason and individualism planted the seeds for a profound shift in political thought. Scholars rediscovered the writings of ancient Greek philosophers who championed the ideals of reason, logic, and self-governance. These ideas, once lost in the mists of time, began to reshape the intellectual landscape of Europe. The stage was set for a revolution in thought, one that would challenge the very foundations of authority and pave the way for modern democracy. Could these whispers from the past, carried on the winds of change, inspire a new generation to break free from the shackles of tradition? The Renaissance had planted the seeds, but it would take a new age of reason to nurture them into full bloom. Section 5. Enlightenment's fire-igniting revolutions across the globe. The 18th century ushered in the Age of Enlightenment, a period of unprecedented intellectual ferment. Thinkers like John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau dared to question the very nature of government and society. Locke argued that government should be based on the consent of the governed, advocating for natural rights like life, liberty, and property. Rousseau, in his influential work, The Social Contract, explored the idea of popular sovereignty, where power ultimately resides in the hands of the people. These revolutionary ideas ignited a firestorm that swept across the globe. The American Revolution, fueled by the ideals of liberty and self-determination, shattered the shackles of British colonialism. The French Revolution, with its cries of liberté, égalité, fraternité, toppled the monarchy, sending shockwaves throughout Europe. These revolutions, though messy and imperfect, marked a turning point in human history. They demonstrated that ordinary people, armed with the power of ideas, could challenge and overthrow even the most entrenched systems of oppression. But the struggle for freedom was far from over. the path to democracy would be long and arduous, fraught with challenges and setbacks. Section 6, Democracy's March, from nation-states to global stage. The 19th and 20th centuries witnessed the steady, albeit uneven, march of democracy across the globe. Nations like Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, inspired by the American and French examples, established their own democratic institutions. However, the spread of democracy was often met with resistance. Monarchies clung to power, dictators rose to prominence, and the specter of colonialism cast a long shadow over much of the world. The two world wars of the 20th century tested the very foundations of democracy. The rise of totalitarian regimes like Nazi Germany and the Soviet Union, with their brutal suppression of individual rights, served as a stark reminder of the fragility of freedom. Yet even in these dark times, the human spirit yearned for self-determination. The post-war era saw the dismantling of colonial empires and the emergence of new democracies in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. The fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, symbolizing the collapse of communism in Eastern Europe, ushered in a new wave of democratic transitions. But as democracy spread, it also faced new and complex challenges. Section 7, Modern Complexities, Challenges to Freedom in the 21st Century. As we enter the 21st century, democracy faces a myriad of challenges. Globalization, while connecting the world in unprecedented ways, has also exacerbated economic inequality and fueled social unrest. The rise of populism, with its appeals to nativism and protectionism, threatens to undermine democratic norms and institutions. Technological advancements, while offering new avenues for communication and participation, also pose risks to privacy and freedom of expression. The Internet, once hailed as a tool for democratization, has become a breeding ground for misinformation, hate speech, and political polarization. Authoritarian regimes, using sophisticated surveillance technologies, are finding new ways to monitor and control their citizens. The erosion of trust in traditional media outlets and the rise of social media have created an environment where truth is often elusive and manipulation rampant. The question we face today is, can democracy in its current form adapt to meet these new challenges? The answer, my friends, lies in our collective will to defend the principles of freedom, equality, and justice. Section 8, Technology and Democracy, a double-edged sword. Technology, in its relentless advance, presents both opportunities and challenges for democracy. On the one hand, it has the potential to empower citizens, amplify marginalized voices, and hold those in power accountable. Social media platforms, despite their flaws, can facilitate public discourse, organize protests, and mobilize voters. Online platforms can provide access to information, connect citizens with their elected officials, and promote transparency in government. However, the same technologies that can strengthen democracy can also be used to undermine it. The spread of misinformation and disinformation online poses a significant threat to informed decision-making. Algorithms, designed to maximize engagement, can create echo chambers, reinforcing existing biases and polarizing public opinion. Surveillance technologies, used by both governments and corporations, can erode privacy and chill free speech. The challenge we face is to harness the power of technology for good while mitigating its potential harms. This requires a concerted effort from governments, tech companies, and citizens alike. Section 9, The People's Will. Active citizenship as the heartbeat of democracy. Democracy, unlike a monarchy or dictatorship, relies on the active participation of its citizens. It's not a spectator sport. It thrives when citizens are engaged, informed, and invested in the well-being of their communities. Voting, while essential, is just one aspect of active citizenship. Engaging in respectful dialogue, advocating for policies that promote the common good, and holding elected officials accountable are all vital components of a healthy democracy. It requires a willingness to listen to opposing viewpoints, to engage in constructive debate, and to find common ground. It demands vigilance against those who would exploit divisions or undermine democratic norms for their own gain. The future of democracy rests not in the hands of politicians or institutions alone, but in the hearts and minds of ordinary people. It's a collective responsibility, a shared commitment to the ideals of freedom, equality, and justice. Section 10. the uncertain future, safeguarding democracy for generations to come. The journey of democracy has been long and arduous, marked by triumphs and setbacks. The path ahead remains uncertain. Challenges demand innovative solutions. The flame of democracy continues to burn. It's a fragile flame. It's up to us to protect it. The future of democracy is not predetermined. Let us choose wisely. Let us choose courage. Let us choose hope. The fate of democracy depends on it.
Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.